What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Jackson podcast. Tough weekend. First Sunday without football. It's going to be a long off season, but we're here with you guys. Today's episode Tuesday, so we got a draft scouting video. We're breaking down the top 8 interior defense linemen, so tackles, noses. Going to break them down all right here. DNs and outside linebackers will be a separate video, but let's get right into it.
Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
All right, here we go. Interior defensive lineman for the 2024 NFL Draft. A couple honorable mentions before we get into our top 8. For me, my guy that just didn't make the cut, big fan of his, Braden Fisk from FSU. He's standing at 6'5", 275 pounds. So he's a big dude. He's got a really good first step for his size, violent hands. And when he hits the gap full speed. He's got long arms. He's a good pass rusher, good motor. Footwork's not bad too for a big guy. He's going to be a 3-down defensive lineman in this league. I think he's going to get drafted late 2, early 3. I could see him. He had a really good Senior Bowl. I watched him. He stood out a lot. He's a good pass rusher, and I don't really know how because I watched him one-on-ones during the Senior Bowl going against guys, and he doesn't have a pass rush plan. He just kind of figures
wings
it. He just wings it. He just
sounds like
figures
you
it
in
out.
college.
Huh?
Sounds like you with your little presentations in college.
Yeah, I just wing it. Just like I got a test tomorrow. I'm just gonna wing it. I'm watching Bachelor tonight. I can't study. But yeah, he doesn't really have a plan going into it. He just kind of plays around with the size, but that size can hurt him with leverage, and he needs to finish those tackles when he gets in the backfields because he gets in the backfield a lot. At times, he gets stonewalled at the line if he doesn't hit that gap right away. So, I think he's really raw, and I think he developed a really good player. Past 2 years at nose, 6 sacks in each year. That's pretty damn impressive from the nose position. So, Braden Fisk, watch out for him. He's going to be a good player in this league. I think he's late to early day 3 guy.
Yeah, I like it. And for those that don't know, Hammer is not joking about the Bachelor thing. He's actually recording this around 7:30 on Monday night, and this guy is placing the Bachelor above this as a priority. So
Great watch. Recommend it. I watch with my buddies. It's fine. It's not weird. It's cool.
It sounds
cool.
a little weird, but I'll give it to you. Anyways, The two guys I want to give honorable mentions to are two guys down from the Bayou in LSU, Mason or Mason Smith. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And Mekhi Wingo, two guys that are very good, but not sure if they're at this top 8 level. So first, Mason Smith, he's 6'6", 315. Right off the bat, that's like those intangibles, I should say, are actually very, very good for this position. 6'6" is kind of tall for a defensive tackle. You usually see that more on the edge. But he's pretty versatile. He'd go edge, tackle, wherever you want him on the line. He has a great launch off the ball, good size and raw athleticism. I'd say really he has a great job of chasing down the plays, and that's kind of what you see on film. You see him chasing down plays, going to get the ball, and that's kind of what you want to see from a guy in the D-line, something that Chase Young kind of lacked this year in the playoffs, and that's something that was very widely talked about. So the bad on this side is actually his hands. As a tall guy, he has long arms. He doesn't really know what to do with his hands, as well as he lunges at times with the lankiness. And then something that I really wanted to pay attention to is against Alabama, which is one of the top tier SEC teams, as we all know. Their O-line is going to be closer to that NFL O-line, that like they have bigger guards, bigger tackles, bigger centers, things like that. So against a team like Alabama, you watch the film, and it's kind of telling about what's going to happen in NFL. And against Alabama, he didn't really seem to make a lot of impacts. He didn't seem to be really a great push off the line, things like that. So I think if he can improve just his fundamentals and getting that push in the middle in his hands, this guy can do well in the NFL with his size alone. I think he's going to be probably, I put him at a late day 2, mid day 3, kind of in that range. It's really up to the combine. We're doing this before the combine, so it's kind of hard to tell. But he can go anywhere in that range. Then I got Mekhi Wingo, 6'1", 295. Another good player, but I think in this guy's case, he's a better run defender than he is pass rusher. So in the NFL, he's not going to be a 3-down guy. Like that's kind of tough for guys at this level. He has a good, decent launch off the ball. does a pretty good job anchoring himself in the middle, but and does a good job of not hitting the deck. He stays up a good amount, but it seems to be a little bit high. And you see in his stance, he's kind of in that squat, but he seems like he gets, as soon as that 1-2 happens, he seems a little bit high up. So if he's able to fix that, stay a little bit lower, I think that helps his chances in the NFL a lot.
Nice. All right, so now getting into our top 8. This big guy on the screen, this is Mckinnley Jackson from Texas A&M. He's standing at 6'2", 325 pounds. We have him at number 8. He's a really good run defender. He's really good against the run. He's one of the best in the out of these guys in the draft. Really good at locating the ball. If he's unable to beat his man too, automatically his hands go right up to go bat that ball down. He sniffs out screens pretty well. And his build, he's a little on the short side at 6'2", so that kind of helps him with leverage. The bad thing would be his range, meaning his kind of pursuit down the line. It's not there, his quickness. He lets guys get into his chest, which then means guys control him a lot. And he's not the most athletic guy. He's got to work on his pass rush, definitely. I wouldn't see him as a 3-down defensive lineman. And then as I was watching the Senior Bowl one-on-ones, he was lunging a lot on tape. So I have him as a late day 2 guy. He could go early 3. Keep in mind too, it's kind of tough to predict what round these guys are going to go in and what days they're going to be selected on, just because, hey, it's, before the combine, we're still 2.5 months away. So it's a little tricky, but again, we're doing linemen now so that we could talk about the skill positions, after the combine, when those times really, really do matter and affect draft stock.
And then Hammer, next guy. This is you as well.
Michael Hall Jr. from Ohio State, 6'2", 280 pounds. He's the shortest guy on this list. He's a really good pass rusher, though. Really good motor. He locates the ball well, strong hands. He's got a couple nice moves to his pass rush package. Definitely a 3-down player in the league. The thing is, like I said, he's undersized, 6'2", 280. That's undersized, right? When you look at that, you're like, maybe this guy plays end. Nah, he's going to play 3-tech. He's not going to play nose in the league. But yeah, he's a little undersized. He's going to struggle against the run at times, and definitely against double teams when some of these other guys on this list are going to make their livings off double teams. So yeah, Michael Hall, I think the reason I got him above Mckinnley Jackson, it's pretty damn close, but honestly, the game that's played today in the NFL, it's all about the pass, and I think pass rushers is just more valued, more value than than run stoppers. So that's why I got Michael Hall ahead of Mckinnley Jackson. But yeah.
No, I can agree with that for sure. I mean, guys across the league are definitely looking for that kind of, not necessarily compact, but quicker build in the middle so that they can get to the pass rusher or the passer in sooner seconds. So next, a guy that I think is probably the most underrated guy on this list. At number 6, we got Ruke Orhorhoro. A lot of syllables there, a lot of R's. It's kind of tough to pronounce, but he's 6'4", 290, so a little bit undersized in weight, like Hammer's last guy, Michael Hall. But for Ruke, an advantage to him of his size, he's very quick on stunts, seems explosive with that size, and he has good balance as well as getting to the point of attack of the ball. And I love his aggressiveness. You see, I mean, he's a huge guy. You see in this
Looks
picture
big.
here, but yeah, you see this picture. He looks awesome, looks huge. This is what guys look like that they won the NFL. And he could track down the ball carrier. That's something I love to see. I'm watching film, guys running to the side, 10 yards down the field, he's sprinting after him. That's what you want to see, the aggressiveness, tenacity. That's what you want. The bad, I think he can add on some muscle. His arms aren't like, he just seemed like he kind of gets locked onto, and he can't really rip off or wrap up guys when he's already getting blocked by by an offensive lineman. And then I think also his consistency with his hands, just tuning in or fine-tuning those fundamentals really would do an advantage to him. But like I said, this guy's tenacity alone, speed, agility, all of that is something that really is a great advantage for him. And I see him going in possibly mid to late day 2. And I think this guy could do something huge in the NFL. Then at number 5, I got Kris Jenkins. Kris Jenkins Jr., I should say, his father played in the NFL. And this guy's 6'3", 305. And people call him the mutant. And this is a guy that is just insanely athletic. He ran a 7.16 3-cone, 4.33 shuttle, and he has a 34-inch vert. So guys like me, I'm 5'9", I'm 170, and I have a 31-inch vert on a good day. I can hang on the rim. That's about it. But this guy He's 305 pounds and he has a 34-inch vert. I mean, that's ridiculous. The guy is insane when it comes to raw ability and strength and power. He has a great anchor due to that strength. Like I just said, he's able to anchor his feet in the ground, keep him moving, and just push the guy back, as well as pretty good in the run game. And I think the great side to his game is his quickness when he's able to get his feet going with him. That's the tricky part, though. His footwork needs improvement. That's where we get into the bad. And he tends to stop his feet. So because of his strength, then he relies kind of just anchoring and just pushing guys without moving his feet. So if he's able to keep his feet moving in the NFL, I think that's where those double teams come in. Like Hammer just said, that double team is where guys make their money at the defensive tackle spot. This guy keeps his feet running, learns to keep doing that in the NFL, get a little bit stronger in his feet as well. That's where he becomes one of the best D linemen in this class. I think he just needs to improve his pass rush ability as well. He's a great run defender. Needs to improve that pass rush ability, and then he'll become a three down guy, like Hammer said with a few other of our other listed guys.
What do you see him getting drafted?
Mid to late day 2. This is a guy that I think he has a lot of possibility in the NFL. I think it's kind of that raw athleticism that guys instantly are going to be like, boom, I want him on the draft board. But if he isn't able to show that footwork and everything like that in the pre-combine pro days, things like that, that's where guys are going to be looking at. I think that's where he kind of falls to the late day 2.
Nice. So these next, number 4, these top 4, I think are going to be a little, I don't know, might get some defensive linemen fans a little heated maybe. I don't know. I think we switched them up a little bit just based on our scouting and what we thought. So number 4, we got Leonard Taylor III from Miami, sitting at 6'3", 305 pounds. The thing that stands out right away is his size. Big dude. Going into this year, I saw that he was supposed to be the number 1 interior defensive lineman in this draft, and he just didn't have the same year like he did in 2022. So that kind of dropped him a couple spots. He's got really good hands. He's got this rip move that's like his signature move. He's very versatile. He can play all 4 spots across the line. Like I said, really good frame. That's the size that, NFL scouts look for.
Mhm.
Long arms, athletic, quickness. He's got to be if he could play all, 4 spots, which he can. He's got a thick lower body that helps him win at the point of attack. And he's just a good pass rusher, really. I see him at the best at like a 4.3 and just being a space eater. Probably playing nose. Bad. He doesn't locate the ball well in the run game, which can take him out of the play. And again, 6'3", so at the same time, it's awesome size, but that size can hurt you in leverage and can make you play too tall. And his balance can be an issue too. I think he's athletic, but sometimes he just looks a little goofy and he falls down. So I think he's gonna work on his balance, but he's really raw. And I think if you work with this guy, he's a rotational guy his first year or two, and he's just in the right system, right coaches, right players around him, I think he can develop into a really good player in this league. My comparison to this guy was Javon Hargrave, defensive tackle for the Niners. I think he's got really similar capabilities as him, and I see this guy as a day 2 guy. I don't really know where. I'm excited to see the combine, the way he moves, but he's definitely a day 2 guy. I'm thinking second round.
Yeah, I mean, you getting comp to Javon Hargrave, that's instantly that leaps up off the paper.
Yeah, and the reason I said Hargrave too is, I said I think the skill sets are kind of similar, and just because I think they're both known for their pass rush and they're both good against the run. Like Hargrave, he got paid this year by the Niners because last year in Philly at nose he had like 11 or 10 sacks. That's where he's going to make his money, and same as this guy. So that's kind of the build that I had in mind.
I respect it. Now, Hammer, this is where it gets interesting. You got a big boy coming up.
Yeah, this is my guy. I liked him a lot. Me and Jenks we scout all the guys together, but I'm gonna fully do this guy, and Jenks is gonna have to do this guy. And this is a guy that I really wanted. Tavondre Sweat from Texas, 6'4", 362 pounds.
Sumo wrestler out here.
He honestly, he kind of looks like it. If you see,
look at that picture. Look at that picture, Hammer.
Look at that leg. That's a leg. It's the size of my head.
It's meaty.
This dude is a big dude. He's a fun player. He was at the Senior Bowl. He was putting dudes on their butts. He was running guys over. it was like disgusting. I didn't know big offensive linemen could bend that way, but you were seeing them bent that way because of sweat. So I mean, you can pull up the clips. Hopefully, make a TikTok clip with me saying this and him doing it because it's unreal. Um, of course, what's the good, the big, the size. It's amazing. The advantage he has at the point of attack with his upper body strength is unreal. He's a run stuffer. That's what he is. It demands double teams. If you don't double team this guy, see you later. And weirdly, he's got this good burst off the line for his size, which is just wow. It's scary. And the bad, he's not a pass rusher. He's not. He won't be on the field in third down. So
Is he
that's
slow?
why.
Is he slow? Is he slow?
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just what
No,
your perspective? Obviously,
he's
he's gonna be slower.
yeah.
But
I mean, all these guys are slow, but yeah, he's not a speedster. Obviously he's not. But that's not his game. He doesn't have a package or anything. Like he doesn't work any moves. He's just not a pass rusher. That's just he's gonna go in do the dirty work, and yeah, I think he can work on his handwork. He doesn't have a lot of, he doesn't do a lot of rips, swims, or this and that. He just bull rushes guys.
yeah,
And,
uses his size.
his pad level has got to be something he's got to work on. Just dude 6'4", he's a big dude. And then, of course, conditioning. I mean, you see the size of this dude, he's got to be conditioned. And yeah, he's not going to be in the field on third downs, but for those long drives, you're going to need him. And, when you have a long 8-minute drive and now you're on the goal line, you're going to need him to do what he does on the goal line. So, that's a concern too. But yeah, I mean, I love him. I hope the Packers get him as a team, as a fan of a team that just doesn't stop the run, hasn't stopped the run for years. This is a guy I'm looking at with our 2 second-round picks that I would love. I think he's a really good compliment to Kenny Clark. Kenny at the 3 tech, put this dude at the nose. Whew, I love that. Goosebumps just thinking about it.
Calm down.
Goosebumps just thinking about it. And
Yeah,
the Bachelor's in 20 minutes. Unreal.
Yeah.
But my comparison for him is Snacks, if you might remember him, Damian Harrison for the Giants. Big body, run stuffer, and just someone who brings a lot of energy to the game, to his team. And that's what T'Vondre Sweat did for Texas. I got him as a high second-round pick, and hopefully goes to the green and gold. And then at number 2, my last guy.
On a roll.
Byron Murphy II, another Texas guy. Now, this is a little, I see these rankings kind of going back and forth. A lot of people have Sweat as their number 2 interior defensive lineman. I get it. That's why I had him at first before really diving deep and looking at these guys. But I could put Byron Murphy II over him. He's 6'1", 308 pounds. Good. I mean, he's versatile. He's played across the entire Texas defensive line. He's very athletic, really good upper body strength. He's quick. He's got a good motor, good handwork. And he's a 3-down player, and I think that's what sets him apart from Sweat. He's not as big, and he's not as good as a run defender like Sweat, but I think his value is up higher than Sweat. I put him above Sweat because he's versatile, right? He's versatile, and he might not be the same run stopper like Sweat, but he's a player that you have to account for on third down. He's a pass rusher as well. So I think that boosts him up. And I've seen first-round grades on him. I've seen him mocked to Green Bay at 25. So, yeah, I got him at number 2. The bad. He's undersized. He's 6'1". I felt like in college, too, watching the tape, he relied on his athletic ability too much. And, when you get in this big boy league, you can't do that anymore. So he's got to improve upon that area of his game. Needs to improve. Of course, he can improve on pass rushing, but he's definitely better than Sweat in that department. And sometimes he could be a little over aggressive, which means he's going to over penetrate, and guys are going to get by him, and he's going to open up gaps. So that's a little bit of a weakness. But I'm really excited to see what this guy does at the combine. Just a little note. I found a little quote from his athletic trainer, strength and conditioning coach at Texas. His name's Torrey Beckton. He clocked in. Byron Murphy clocked in at 18 miles per hour on a GPS. That's moving for a guy his size too. That's pretty damn impressive. He had a team best 455-pound front squat and he power cleans 375 pounds. He could have gone heavier, but strength coach Terry Becton shut him down.
Yeah, you
Becton
don't want to get
says
hurt.
Becton says that Murphy could have gotten like 500 on front squat and 405 on power clean. So the dude's a big, strong guy. So I could see him going, high second round. Definitely, he could sneak into the first round late. But I think that's going to be dependent on his combine. So I'm really excited to see what he does there.
No, I like it. And then number 1, the guy that I think is the only guy that in this class right now is like the surefire first rounder, Jer'Zhan Newton out of Illinois. This guy he's 6'2", 295. I think he's going to come in a little bit smaller than that once he gets to the combine, draft, all that process. He had 7.5 sacks last season, 8.5 tackles for loss. He's extremely versatile on the line. He can play across every single technique, every single position, anything you want. He's a great 1-2 off the ball, and he's able to use his hands really quickly. When you see him immediately burst off the line, he uses his hands, punches off the guys, and it helps give him leverage. His speed is an advantage in the middle. Like I said, he's 295, so obviously speed, like a few of the other guys we've said, is going to be an advantage. And I think he gives him the ability to make plays down the line of scrimmage. This is a guy I've said a few of the other players I've said so far. Really quick down the line. That's something I like. Something I like for guys in the NFL is sprinting to make plays. This guy does that. And you'll see he makes a play. He gets hype. He's a hype man on the team. And I think that's something a lot of NFL teams look for that's underrated. If a guy has the tenacity and the emotion to be a D lineman, it's huge. The bad, I think if he gets caught in the initial 1-2, he gets pushed back due to his size, which kind of sucks. And double teams, like we said, a few guys just the double teams with their size is going to be a problem. He also doesn't really use I like his feet or his hands, but his feet don't necessarily link to them all the time. And he's able to link both, turn guys, and then pursue his rush, anything like that. I think that's where he's going to truly turn into a great guy in the NFL. The comparison I have for him is someone that if you watched their videos last year, you would know about. Kris Jenkins. I talked to Hammer about him last year. I don't know if you remember Hammer, but I said he was going to be a great player in the NFL. I wanted him for the Saints. He was one of the guys that, through the combine process, immediately jumped up boards because he was very, very quick. He had the agility, he had the size, everything like that. He had the same size, And in the NFL, Kris Jenkins went to the Bucs, I believe, and he hadn't really done too much because of his size, things like that, his fundamentals. But he has the possibility to do a lot. And that's the same way I see Jer'Zhan Newton. I think he goes in the league, maybe year one, he isn't great. Depending on the team he goes to, needs of what, if he gets instantly, he's like the starter, 3-down guy, whatever. But I think he goes in, takes a year maybe to adjust, and then year 2 is truly when he takes a leap and is a guy in the NFL. So I think I'm intrigued as to where Jer'Zhan Newton goes. He's a guy I've seen mocked to the Saints a couple times, and I'd be thrilled to pair him next to Byron Murphy in the interior of the D-line. It would be awesome. He can do a little bit of everything. He can defend the run, rush the passer. He can do it all. So he's a great prospect. I'm interested to see where he goes in the NFL.
Yeah, I've seen him
first rounder.
Yeah, definitely a first rounder. I've seen him mocked a lot, like mid, I think 16th to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I've seen him a lot to the Seahawks.
Like the mid first is like that 10 to 20. That's kind of his range.
Yeah, definitely a first rounder mid. You nailed that right on the head. And yeah, something quick, just going back. You said about his energy and. When he makes a play, he gets fired up, and it's like, and how attractive that is to NFL teams, and that's just like, and I think him and Sweat kind of share that, and like, you just think back to when you played football. I'm thinking back to when I played football, and I coach kids now. Like when you got that big dude on the line, and he's going nuts, and he's having fun making plays. There's no better. Like it's awesome, So
it
like,
fires everyone up around you, Like you want to support that guy, that D lineman that's out there smiling and having fun.
Big boy or the big boy on the O line pancaking dudes. It's like this awesome energy that like
if he gets a pick or something like that, then everyone's going nuts or like fumble, whatever. If he starts running with the ball, like everyone just starts going nuts. So it's definitely an awesome experience when you have a big guy like that.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it for this episode. Nice. Kind of quick one, 25 minutes, something like that. It's not terrible. That's going to do it for this one. Top 8 interior defensive linemen. Next week, we got offensive tackles. Excited to do that one. That's really deep.
It's a loaded class.
It's a loaded class, really deep tackle class. I think we're going to see a bunch of dudes picked in the first round, maybe like 5, 6. Really excited to get into that. We're going to have that for you guys next Tuesday. This Thursday, of course, we're going to be talking about NFL news happening. Maybe try to get a guest on. And yeah, like we said before, that's kind of the format for this offseason. But yeah, Jenks, anything? Closing thoughts?
Not too much. I think I want to shout out Hammer. Did you see Jimmy Graham, what he's doing? I don't know if you saw the news about him. He's rowing across.
Did.
Yeah, rowing across the Arctic Sea or ocean, whatever it is, in 15 days, 24-hour periods, just straight across. I'm like, what? And he's burning each rower is expected to burn 8,000 calories a day. And I'm like, what the hell are you eating to like replenish yourself? You know what I'm saying? It's just wild.
Unreal. Crazy.
Jimmy does it all.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, no, but that's all I gotta say. And other than that, if you guys like these videos, I mean, comment down below. Let us know what you like about them. If you want to change the rankings, if you agree with the guys we have, if you think something else about one of these guys, or if you disagree with our scouting or anything like that, comment down below. Always remember, we're always willing to comment and respond to you guys, talk to you guys, anything like that.
Yeah, let's hear it. And quick question, Jenks, you kind of said Newton. Is there anyone else you would like to see drafted by the Saints?
Oh, right off the bat, a few of the tackles we're going to talk about next week. I'm not going to spoil that because I don't want to get into it, but there's a few tackles because we needed offensive tackle. I mean, Trevor Penning obviously hasn't panned out. And then I really like, what's his face? Obviously, I want a quarterback. But I think Derek Carr can turn around with a new offense coordinator, but I think guys like Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, if they fall to your lap at 15, like I just feel like it's hard to kind of not take them, you know?
Yeah.
But I think you go tackle, or Dallas Turner is a guy I've seen mocked to us, which I wouldn't mind. Jared Verse as well from Florida State. And I think there's a few different ways you could go. But I wouldn't also mind if we traded back a couple of picks. If a team offers you an 18th and then a second for your first rounder, I'm taking that. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of different moves the Saints could make in the offseason and the draft.
It's going to be interesting. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at JanksHammerPod. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. If you watch on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
Right?
Yep. Take it easy.
Enjoy the Bachelor Hammer.
Will do.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!